So, you're ambitious. You've got big dreams, bigger than the place you're in right now. You want the six-figure income, the fast car, the clean, sharp lifestyle you see in your head every night. You want to give your parents a life they never had, and prove to yourself that you were meant for something more. You want the dream job, or the startup, the freedom, the results. And you're not wrong. You're capable of all of it. But somewhere between your goals and your couch, your fire starts to fade. Your energy disappears. Your ambition keeps circling in your head, but it never takes shape in the real world. You know exactly what you should be doing, yet somehow you just don't feel like doing it. You tell yourself, I'll start soon. You scroll through your feed. Someone just launched a clothing brand. Someone else is buying their first house. And another person your age is traveling the world, talking about freedom and grind set. You stop for a moment, stare at your phone, and that sinking feeling hits you in the chest. I could be doing that if I actually tried. If this hits a little too close to home, you're not alone. Subscribe to the channel because every week we break cycles like this, one mindset at a time. You close the app, but the thought lingers. That quiet mix of envy and regret. You want to change, you really do. But somehow, Netflix loads faster than your motivation. Then comes the guilt, because deep down, you know you're capable of more. That guilt sits heavy in your chest every time you skip the gym, every time you scroll past an opportunity, every time you waste another night watching someone else live the life you want. You tell yourself, it's fine. I'll get serious soon. But you never do. Why? Because ambition and laziness can, and often do, coexist. And when they do, they create a cycle that's almost impossible to escape. The cycle of the ambitious but lazy. It starts with the spark, that surge of motivation after watching someone achieve what you want. You get inspired, you make a plan. You buy new notebooks, gym clothes, new goals. And for a few days, you're unstoppable. Then, the friction creeps in. You start skipping small things. A day off here, a missed deadline there. Your brain tells you, it's fine, you've worked hard, take a break. But that break never ends. Soon, laziness sets in. You start avoiding the very things that mattered most. And when you avoid them long enough, the guilt returns, heavier this time. You feel like you're watching your potential rot right in front of you. And after enough failed attempts, you stop trying altogether. That's when laziness turns into identity. You go from, I'm feeling lazy, to, I am lazy. Why ambitious people feel stuck. Most lazy, ambitious people don't actually lack motivation. They lack momentum. There's a concept called activation energy. It's how much effort your brain thinks something will take before you start. The bigger the task feels, the higher that wall becomes. So when you tell yourself, I need to change my life, get fit, start a business, fix my habits, and wake up at 5 a.m., your brain just says, nope, too much. So you procrastinate. You pick something easier, scrolling, gaming, watching. It's not that you're lazy. It's that your brain thinks starting is dangerous. That's why ambition without small action turns into paralysis. The real enemy isn't laziness, it's friction. Here's something most people don't realize. Your brain doesn't hate hard work. It hates friction, the resistance between I should and I did. The more steps between them, the more chances you have to quit. You don't avoid the gym because it's hard. You avoid it because of the changing, packing, traveling, facing people, discomfort. That's friction. You don't avoid writing because you're dumb. You avoid it because of the laptop, the file, the blank page, all those tiny walls. The secret to beating laziness isn't motivation, it's removing friction. The physics of laziness. There's a concept in physics, inertia. Objects at rest tend to stay at rest. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Guess what? You're the object. And laziness, that's inertia. Getting started is the hardest part because you haven't gained momentum yet. But once you start, even for 2 minutes, objects in motion stay in motion. That's why starting small works, because once you begin, your brain doesn't want to stop. So make starting stupidly easy. Tell yourself, I'll just open the notebook. I'll just do 1 push-up. Once you start, inertia flips, and laziness loses its power. The myth of motivation. Most people wait to feel ready. But motivation doesn't start action, it follows it. When you move, you feel good. When you feel good, you move more. When you sit still, guilt grows, energy fades, and the spiral continues. You can't think your way out of laziness. You have to move your way out. Momentum doesn't come from mindset. Mindset comes from momentum. If you're serious about getting unstuck, hit that subscribe button. Not for motivation, but for momentum. The hidden addiction behind laziness. Let's be real. A lot of laziness today isn't laziness. It's dopamine overload. You wake up and scroll 5 apps before you even stand up. Every swipe gives your brain a mini hit of satisfaction. So when it's time to do something hard, study, work out, focus, it feels boring by comparison. Your brain's used to fireworks. Now it has to sit through paperwork. You don't need to delete every app. You just need to delay your dopamine. Hold off the quick hits until after you've done something meaningful. Make achievement your new dopamine source. High standards, low output. Perfectionism is the prettiest disguise laziness wears. You don't start because you think, if I can't do it perfectly, why do it at all? But perfection isn't real. It's procrastination dressed nicely. Your first draft will suck. Your first video will be awkward. Your first business might fail. But that's how progress looks. As Virat Kohli once said, self-belief and hard work will always earn you success. Notice, he didn't say self-doubt and planning. He said work. And hey, if this video is helping you shift your mindset, take 2 seconds to like it. It tells us to keep creating content that helps you move, not just dream. The 2-minute rescue. If you can't start, tell yourself you'll do it for 2 minutes. Just 2. Start studying for 2 minutes. Clean your room for 2 minutes. Exercise for 2 minutes. Because once you start, you almost never stop. That's how momentum loops are built. Action creates motivation, and motivation creates more action. The real reason you don't change. Laziness isn't a flaw, it's feedback. It's your brain saying the version of success you've imagined feels too far away. So bring it closer. Shrink the dream until the first step feels almost too easy not to take. Say, I'll brainstorm 1 idea tonight. Say, I'll walk for 10 minutes. That's how ambition stops being fantasy and becomes progress. You don't need more motivation. You need less resistance. Every day you have 2 choices. Feed the story that you're just not consistent, or start acting like someone who takes small, consistent steps anyway. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. If you're ambitious but lazy, stop calling yourself broken. You're not. You're just stuck at rest. Reduce the friction. Lower the bar for starting. Start small, start ugly, start tired. But start, because the difference between someday and finally is always that first, tiny, imperfect step.